Hello everyone and welcome back to the Cringe Squadcast. Now, I know we haven't been, uploading for I think about 3 weeks now. And we kind of have an explanation for that. Well, one, you can go and check out the video that I made that's currently up on the channel right now. That would be in the description below and at the end card of this review or at the end of this episode. But basically we've just been away for a while, just brainstorming ideas about future podcast episodes, as well as what we can do as of improving the episodes. Because how's the best way to say it? We decided to kick it up a notch. Um, because I think we can all admit that our last few episodes, we've just not been too motivated into doing them. We just felt really bored. I mean, obviously it doesn't show it in the episodes, but it's just that like we didn't really want to do them that much. It just kind of just started feeling like it was getting a little bit repetitive. Um, and we just wanted to make the best quality that we can get, but not draining ourselves in the process. And so I just hope that, and I hope everyone else is thinking the same way, that you guys will really enjoy these next batch of episodes that we have coming up. In fact, we have one coming up later today, which we'll talk about at the end of this episode. But, yeah, so, just stay tuned for later today for the next episode, which again, we'll mention at the end of this episode. But, so, besides yourself, myself, Russell, I am joined by my co-host, Dylan.
Hey.
Aidan. Hasn't said.
Hello.
Oh, there we go.
It was kind of bugging out.
Alright, and Chad.
Hello. I haven't been here in a long time, to be honest.
Yeah,
It
we
is
haven't.
good to have you back. Yeah.
Well,
I have a
one
lot of
in the
homework.
podcast, but I think it's finally, as you guys can tell, we're finally back on Discord.
Yes. Yeah.
For the last, like, what, 5, 6 episodes, I've been on Discord to have the video footage, and we've been all on, on an Xbox chat, just discussing all the points, and just, talking about what the topic was for the episodes. And so it's really good to be back on Discord, finally doing these episodes again.
I
And
also want to say something real quick. Sorry to interrupt, but
go ahead.
as you guys probably noticed, we don't really have thumbnails for our most recent episodes, but we'll get that handled in the near future. Like,
Yeah.
we'll have some thumbnails up pretty soon.
Even also for this episode, which you guys could probably tell by the title and the thumbnail, today we are discussing Star Wars. One of the biggest franchises as of now. I think the franchise has made over $1 billion at the box office. So it was bound to happen at some point. And just to show you guys how prepared I have come, I have I've I've came prepared. Um but basically what we're gonna be doing in this episode is that we're not gonna be going over all of Star Wars. Because that would probably take about like 10 hours to go through. And to be completely honest, we don't want to do that in one episode. So, if there's something that we don't mention in this episode, um, we're sorry. But to be completely honest, we're probably gonna have a part 2 at some point, talking about all the extra side things that besides from the main series that we have that we're gonna be talking about in this episode, which is gonna be consisting of all 9 of the feature-length movies, including, I believe, the 2 prequel stories. Well, not, besides the prequels, obviously, but before the original trilogy, which again we'll discuss. Um, but So, yeah, so also we're gonna be going over the pros and cons of each. So, expect to hear some very, personal opinions, so don't be enraged if one of your favorite Star Wars movies gets bashed by us, by one of us. This is strictly opinions, not factual. So, take it, with a grain of salt. So, does anyone else want to mention anything before we get on to today's episode?
Yes. We have listed our school stories. Part 2 is private because yeah, we realized that we said the names of a lot of people, like teachers, and we just want to respect their privacy, and so we just took that video down.
So yeah, this will be the new episode 17, instead of School Stories Part 2. In fact, we're probably gonna have that one either as private or unlisted, because I mean, granted, that's one of our most recent episode, so you could probably tell by the quality that um, it wasn't our best. But like Dylan said, we just want to respect other people's privacy, so we're probably gonna put that. We have it currently on private. We're probably gonna put it on unlisted at some point, but it probably will stay as private. Um, but besides that, does anyone else want to mention anything?
Happy birthday to Vignesh. It was his birthday like 2 days ago, technically,
Yep.
because today's Friday.
Happy
So, yeah.
birthday,
Yeah,
Big
shout
Happy
out to
Daddy.
birthday, Vignesh.
Vignesh.
Yeah.
Yep, shout out
Even
to
though he's not
Vignesh.
here with us, you know,
Yep.
he's a really nice guy.
Yeah.
Mhm. All right, so I believe that's everything.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go in chronological order, as I said, going from not release order, because I mean, grandly, we're probably gonna be talking if we did like release order, we'll probably be talking about the best ones first. But we're gonna go in chronological order instead of release order. So yes, unfortunately, the first one that we'll be talking about is Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, released in 1999. And, let's start off with Dylan's opinion. So, Dylan, what did you overall think about Episode 1, The Phantom Menace?
Honestly, I don't remember too much about it since it's been a really long time. Although, I mean, I remember like some of the key elements, like obviously the lightsaber duel with Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, and Darth Maul.
The pod
I think
race?
that was like a pretty good lightsaber fight.
Yeah, as well as the pod race. That was actually really cool.
Yeah. Although a lot of the people, I think the reason a lot of people were disappointed was because it didn't give off like the same like energy as the older movies.
Yeah.
But honestly, I mean, I don't think it was that bad. I mean,
I mean, I'm gonna the I'm gonna save my opinions for last, but I can kind of see where you're coming from with that, Dylan, but I don't 100% agree with that. Um, but Aiden, what is your opinions on the Phantom Menace?
Did you say me?
Yes.
Um, I don't know. I don't really remember a whole lot about it. I just remember that like donut-looking spaceship thing, and yeah, like the duel
Oh
with
man.
um.
Alright.
Let's see. Yeah. Oh. I don't know. I think Anakin was kind of annoying.
Yeah.
This is just a little bit though. You know?
Chad, what did you think about the Phantom Menace?
Wait, is this like where like Anakin betrays like Obi-Wan?
no, this is where Anakin was like a little kid, and it was like Darth
Yeah.
Maul.
Oh,
Yeah, he was played.
okay.
He's the kid that's played by, or he was the kid in Jingle All the Way.
Okay. Well, you know what? For one, I think Darth Maul was pretty good. I like the villain. Two lightsaber sided, pretty creative.
I think that was actually
Um,
the first Star Wars movie to introduce a new kind of
double-sided
lightsaber.
lightsaber.
Well, yeah,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
because
So
before then,
I'm not really of a hero person. I really like the villains because that's just me. But you know, I'm not really a big Star Wars fan, but I did like Darth Maul as a villain.
okay, well, for me personally, I think overall, this is a bad movie. But it's one of those movies where you can watch it all the way through and you go and you can it's a so bad it's good movie. But I could still admit that it's mostly garbage. I mean, because Anakin, for one, he is annoying. There's like one or two scenes in the whole movie that like shows that like the kid Jake Lloyd can act, but besides that, he's just annoying. Um, Honestly, for me personally, I think that Liam Neeson, great actor. Qui-Gon Jinn, so boring. I mean, like, I'm sorry, but like he has like really nothing to bring to the table. But I do think that, like you guys said, Darth Maul, really great villain. Probably the best villain besides the Emperor in all three of them. But I think Darth Maul was the best solo villain out of any of the prequels, and that's going up against like Christopher Lee that we'll see in episodes 2 and 3. But I mean, yeah, especially with the fact that, like we said earlier, he was the first character in Star Wars to have a different kind of lightsaber. Because before this, with the original trilogy, and even with the light side characters in this film, everyone only uses a one-sided lightsaber. Darth Maul was really the first character that audiences saw uh, with a double lightsaber, which I think is really cool. Um, I think that Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan was actually really good for his first time playing Obi-Wan. Um, the pod race I think was great. Um, and like Dylan said earlier, the final battle, one of the best final battles, or one of the best lightsaber fights ever in Star Wars. And the track, Duel of the Fates, has become one of the most famous Star Wars tracks of all time. Um, and even some of the CGI, for this film being over 20 years old, most of it has actually stood up pretty well. But like I said, Liam Neeson, like I said, great actor, but Qui-Gon is boring in this film. Jar Jar Binks, oh my god, dude, he's insufferable in this film. Um, um, I think that what was it says? Natalie Portman in this film was actually okay. Um, Not insufferable as she will be in episodes 3 and especially episode 2. Um, and I mean, yeah, like I said, this is like it's one of those movies where I probably put it on the lower tiers of like it's just so bad it's good movie, because mostly it's just pretty trash with like only like a few scenes that are really good. But I think overall it's pretty garbage, but I wouldn't consider this to be the worst Star Wars movie ever made. That would actually go on to the second film that we're going to talk about. But before we mention that, does anyone want to say any final thoughts on episode 1 of Phantom Menace?
6 out of 10.
Really? You're going to put it that
Uh,
high? Damn.
I
Uh,
think it would be 6.5 for me.
Aidan?
Um, I don't know really. Say like maybe like a 4.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say like a 3 or a 4 for me personally. I would probably put this on the level of... Actually, no, well, probably more like a 4 or 5. Because, like I said, there are some scenes in this movie um, that did entertain me, like the final lightsaber battle and the pod race and stuff like that. Whereas, you guys go and check out my channel real quick, quick plug. When I discussed the Jaws series and I discussed Jaws 3D, I gave that film a 4 out of 10, strictly for the fact that it bored me. Um, and Phantom Menace doesn't bore me. It's just overall, it's just a bad movie. just made by someone who, by this point in their career, didn't really know what the hell they were doing. But this, like I said, this isn't the worst part, or this isn't the worst film in the Star Wars franchise. I would probably put it still in the lower end of the tier, or of when I'm ranking all the Star Wars films. The worst one, in my opinion, is Star Wars Episode 2: Attack of the Clones, released in 2002. Oh, Lord have mercy. I'm sorry, but this is one of those movies where I just have to give this like a 1 or even a 0 out of 10 because it's so awful. But, let's go over all your guys' opinions, starting with Dylan on Episode 2, Attack of the Clones.
Actually, I haven't personally watched this one, but what I've heard is that it seems like pretty bland. A lot of cheesy scenes and stuff like that. Although, what I kind of like the fight where they were like the clone troopers arrived and they were like fighting all the droids and stuff. I thought
Yeah,
that was
but
kind of neat.
really that scene for me only really brought up the film a tiny bit, and I just got back into, sorry for my French here, but just dog shit.
Yeah.
What about you, Aiden?
Yeah, with this one, I don't really remember anything else either. Something I do remember though is I think it's towards the beginning where like there's just this girl walking off the spaceship and then it just blows up.
Yeah, that's like literally within the first 5 minutes of the film starting.
Yeah. And then is that the one where like they're in that like grassy field with the fight and then there's like droids there that have like these purple shield things?
I don't really remember. I know that Anakin and Padme were in a field like for like a date, for like a picnic or some crap like that. But in terms of like the droids, I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Maybe okay.
You're
That
probably
might have
thinking
been
about,
Phantom Menace.
yeah, because I know that in Phantom Menace there was a scene when it was like in the opening scene when um Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan were like fighting the droids, and then those like I wouldn't call them like hunter killers, but like they were like trapped in the corridor and they used like the force speed thing.
Yeah,
Um,
you're right. You're right.
but the get back to episode 2. What did you think about episode 2, Chad?
Wait, is this also Star Jar Jar Blinks?
Well, technically all the prequels do, but he has a significantly reduced role in this film.
All right.
Which, by the
Well,
way, it
you
does
know
not
what?
help it, but I'll
I
take it.
know. You know what? One word for this film. I'm just kidding. Not one word, but all I have to say. But I mean, all I have to say is that all I remember from this film is that Jar Jar Blinks was an idiot, and I hated it
Hmm.
because I don't know. And like, I also have to agree with Dylan. As a kid, I did like action, obviously, because
I mean, yeah, because
I
you're a
was
kid and all you see is like, oh, dude, Star Wars, dude, lightsaber fights, oh, that's so cool. But now you look at
yeah.
it and it's like, oh god, that's cringy as hell.
Yeah, because as a kid, you don't really have like your mind is not like
To
really
focus on the
grown
plot
to.
or anything is like I said, it's just like, oh, dude, it's like Star Wars guys fighting. That's so cool. But then you look at it, it's like, it's literally just the guys on a green screen, like waving around a stick.
Yeah, like that's happened to me. Like I've seen movies when I was a lot younger, and then I've seen the same movies now, and I understand so many more things. It's
Yeah,
just
because
mind
like
blowing.
you learn the reality when you grow up of these
Yeah.
movies. Because as a kid, your imagination is full, and it's just like it takes on it takes on a adventure. But like it's just like because I've seen like a lot of movies. For example, let's take like Godzilla, right? Behind the the original film, right? And like the guy is just wearing the guy's just wearing a costume. Like
Yeah.
it kind of ruins the feel of it. So same for like Clone Wars. As a kid, I liked it, but if I had to rewatch it right now, I wouldn't. I don't think I would even want to watch
Was
it.
see, I would agree with you if I was like 10 or so. Now, like, I could see, like, if you really, like, delve into, like, the history of, like, the making of the first Godzilla movie, it was torturous. I mean, because I read that, the guy that was wearing the Godzilla suit, not to get, like, too off topic, but he passed out in the suit at one point.
Yeah,
And
consists
they,
like the suit was so hot, and
yeah. But it's
it
like,
was so bad.
I just feel
It
like that,
was
like,
like,
I feel like that knowing that it's a guy in a suit adds to the charm of it, because then that makes you feel like that, hey, maybe I can do that. Like
yeah,
that's
like
why I appreciate older movies than now, because then now it's like, oh, you can just put basically all of it in the computer, then boom, it's done. Before,
yeah,
you didn't have
everything's
that.
just everything today is just done by graphics.
Yeah, like everything before, like you have to do it practical, and it's like that's why I appreciate it so much. Now it's just like, hey, it's like we don't even need to have a stick anymore. We just put CGI over them, boom, so we have lightsabers. But before it's like, oh, we have to have like this stick with like reflective camera material on it, so you have to hold it in a certain way so that you can get like the certain reflectiveness of it. And like back then, it looks seamless, but then once you start learning about it, it's like, oh, that's actually really cool. Maybe I can like do that. And like that's what I feel like that the new Star Wars movies, even though I mean like my personal enjoyment of them doesn't affect like like knowing that the effects were done either in real like practically or in a computer doesn't affect the movie overall for me. It just I don't feel like it just has the same charm as like going from, for example, watching the original cuts of like A New Hope or Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi to watching like Force Awakens, where you're like you could tell that like it was done with a computer, and it's like, what if I could do this? Like,
you know what? I have to agree with you, Russell, because I've been a long time Godzilla fan, and just seeing these new Godzilla, American Godzilla movies, Godzilla King of Monsters. I mean, I watched that like probably last year, and I have to be really, I have to say I was really disappointed, because like
yeah,
it's just like because they're like, what is it? My first Godzilla movie, I watched it when I was probably like 12, because I don't know. It's just like when I first watched it, like I was amazed. I liked action. That's all I really cared about, to be
yeah.
honest. Action.
But then like
This guy doing this, this guy doing that, and then especially when it's like giant monsters, because like that's pretty cool. I
yeah,
think any little kid will like enjoy like a giant monster or like something really kind of stupid.
yeah,
But like in recent like movies they like changed it. Like it's more focusing on the humans, which that's not what I want. I want like more.
I mean,
What is
like
it?
again, like
Godzilla fighting.
that like I mean, yeah, like I could understand that point, but again, it's like it brings up the same point that like I don't. I mean, yeah, like I would appreciate it more if like the 2014 film was focused more on Godzilla, but all I really
Yeah.
care about is just having a good time and enjoying the movie, than being like, oh, why wasn't the film more
I
about
mean, yeah,
Godzilla?
don't get me wrong. I loved Godzilla 2014, Godzilla King of Monsters, because I mean, it obviously still had the monsters fighting, but
Yeah,
I just wish there was a little bit more, appreciation to, at least like back in the day, on how like kaiju's fight,
yeah,
just more monster action. That's all I'm just waiting for, and the upcoming like King Kong versus Godzilla. I just hope I'm just wishing they have more of that
yeah.
when it releases.
Um, I mean, we got like way off topic, but I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, like I could see where that comes from. That well, technically, that kind of comes back to the whole Star Wars discussion, where like even where you compare like the original versions of the original trilogy to like even the prequels, where like especially if you compare Yoda to from like the original from like episode 5 or 6, like especially episode 5, to him in episode 2, where he's literally jumping all over the place doing like acrobatics and crap like that, and you're like, well then how the hell did he end up in a cane in episode 5? Where it's like,
Yeah.
where like that whole conversation kind of comes back with the Yoda discussion, where in episode 5 and episode 6 he's a puppet, like a impractical puppet, and yet in the prequels, I mean, the first film actually, the original like theatrical versions, and even I think some of the DVD versions from like the early 2000s, they used the original prints, and the original prints of Phantom Menace had Yoda as a puppet, like a real life puppet. It looked stilted as crap, but it was practical, which I do appreciate. It was starting with episode 2 that they changed Yoda into a CGI model. And then obviously with the 2011 Blu-ray releases, they changed him to a CGI model for the Phantom Menace. But I don't want to get too off topic about that too. But really, like that's really one of my main criticisms about episode 2, is that like all the stuff that you know from like the original trilogy is basically just thrown out of the goddamn window with especially this film. Where like episode 1 and episode 3, I can see, like especially episode 3, where I'm like, okay, I can see that sort of stuff like happening in the original trilogy, and especially like with the foreshadowing and shit like that. But episode 2, like, oh my god, like I can go over all the crap that's wrong with this movie um in a separate review, which I probably will do at some point on my channel. But to put it simply, the main problem that I have with the film is that they don't. I mean, I get that the first film was really more focused around Obi-Wan, because again, like Anakin in that film was a kid, but this film, he's like the main. I mean, I get that the overarching story of all 3 prequels is Anakin becoming Darth Vader. I get that, but in this film, he is insufferable, more than Jake Lloyd in Episode 1. I mean, because yeah, he's a kid. Like Jake Lloyd was a kid. Like you can't really flack him for being a bad actor. He's a kid. But Hayden Christensen is this. Oh my god, dude, he's so bad in this movie. Like, take for like a big example for why people don't like his performance in this film is the date between him and Padme, and like that whole dialogue between him and Padme is like literally like cringy as hell. And I literally can't watch that scene all the way through. I literally have to like go to the bathroom like during that, because I just can't stand it. Um, I think the only real redeemable thing in this movie is one, Palpatine. I mean, he's really great for all 3 movies, especially the third one, which we'll get to. Um, but in this one, he's still good as usual. And then, um, he had a bit, kind of like a bit part in the first film, but in this film, Mace Windu's role is significantly, you know, upgraded, with him helping Obi-Wan and Anakin on the battle arena when they get captured by Count Dooku, played by the wonderful Christopher Lee, which is probably overall the best part about this film, because he's probably the only reason why I come back to this movie is to watch him kick ass with a lightsaber. It is so freaking cool. I think that whole arena scene, like when the Jedi storm in, before that I can just forget about. But when the Jedi storm in and like the whole attack starts, and I'm like, okay, I can have fun for about like 2 or 3 minutes, and then it just goes right back into shit. Um, for me personally, I'm gonna give this film a 1 out of 10. This film, if it didn't have Palpatine in it, if it didn't have Christopher Lee in it, and if it didn't have really Ewan McGregor in it pulling off a still kind of good performance, this film would absolutely, in my opinion, get a 0 out of 10. It's that bad. Like literally almost everything about this film is terrible. But Dylan, what is your final thoughts on Attack of the Clones?
Be generous. I'll give it a 4.
Also, basically your same rating for. Actually, no, not same rating for Phantom Menace. You give that one a 6. Aidan?
Maybe like a 1.5 to a 2. I mean, I don't really remember a whole lot about this one. I do remember that like gladiator pit thing, but I don't remember a lot about it.
Alright, and Chad?
I think I'll give it, to be honest, maybe like a 4.5 because I did like that gladiator scene, to be honest.
Yeah, that's probably like the only real good scene out of the whole film.
Sorry to interrupt,
Yeah.
but we might want to move things along because it's getting late. Plus, we still have like 7 more episodes.
Got it.
In terms of films. Really
Yeah.
quickly, before we move on to episode 3, I want to mention the final battle in this film is garbage. Because literally it just consists of basically the majority of the fight between like Obi-Wan and Anakin versus Dooku. Obi-Wan gets basically like out of the like he gets basically just pushed off to the side at the beginning. And then literally like the whole fight between Dooku and Anakin is just them waving sticks around in front of the camera. It's like, "Hey guys, look, I'm lightsaber fighting." And then yeah, and George is like, "That's great. Put that in the film." Like, oh Jesus Christ. Thankfully, he did redeem it with the next film that we'll be talking about, which is the last of the prequels.
Revenge of the Russell.
Boy. Okay. Uh, Revenge of the Sith, released in actually the year I was born in 2005. And the first
Shout out to Russell, man.
Revenge of the Sith is the first Star Wars movie to receive the PG-13 rating. So Dylan, what was your thoughts about Revenge of the Sith?
Also, I actually like this movie. I mean, I'd probably give it like a solid 7.5 out of 10. Because I mean, it did have its really boring parts, but it also had like when there were like action scenes and like good parts, they were like really good.
Yeah, I
I
can
might
agree with
even
that.
give it an 8 out of 10.
Okay, I wouldn't go that far. Aidan?
Dude, this is my favorite Star Wars movie. I'm not capping. This is the best one.
Really?
I love it so much. Like easily a sideways 8 out of 10.
A sideways 8 out of 10?
Yeah.
Infinite.
Um, like I don't know, that ending lightsaber fight is just so good, and then it has so many memes in there.
Oh
It's
my
like
god.
I mean honestly, it should be put in like a
Wait,
museum.
I'm sorry, but is this where Anakin turns evil?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's also really good too.
Oh,
'Cause
okay.
I don't know, it's just a really
In
good
that
job
case,
with that.
I think this movie was actually great, more than good, because I mean, it's kind of a classic, I guess, in like my opinion, because
I wouldn't go
it's
that
just,
far, to be really honest.
I mean, it's just my opinion, so
Everyone
this is what I
gets
think.
till Russell disagrees.
Shut up, Dylan.
I think he means it's more nostalgic, maybe.
Yeah, because I mean, everyone know. I mean, not everyone, obviously, but like a lot of people know this scene. Just like, and then that's where Anakin turns to the dark side, and that's where he becomes Dark Vader, and yeah. So
Wait, what scene?
where he was fighting, what was his name, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh yeah, like probably like the most iconic scene from this whole movie is that end
Yeah,
battle, which is probably, to be honest, the best part about this movie, and is, in my opinion, the best prequel film by far. I mean, certainly better than Episode 1, and by far way better than Episode 2. Um, I wouldn't call it nostalgic, but I would say it's a pretty good Star Wars film. There, like
Well, I
Dylan said,
mean,
like there are some
Russell,
hokey moments.
It may not be like nostalgic for you, but it could be nostalgic for
I
other
mean,
people. You know.
yeah, but I'm just saying my opinions. Um, I, I mean, like Dylan said, there are some hokey moments. Like again, the relationship, grandly, not as bad as like episode 2 bad. It's like probably like episode 1 quality, where it's like I mean, it's probably a little bit worse than episode 1, since like that was like episode 1 was like the start of their relationship, while 2 what 3 was like kind of like the end of it a bit. Um, but I just think that like really anything that was in the first 2 movies was significantly improved with this film. Not by like a whole bunch to make it like the best Star Wars movie in my opinion, but enough to make it a enjoyable watch from start to end. Um, like Chad said, I think like the end fight was probably the best part about this movie. Ewan McGregor pulls off his, in my opinion, his best performance as Obi-Wan. Um, Anakin actually isn't insufferable in this film. He's actually what I feel like Anakin should have become by the time he became like a teenager by like episode 2. Kind of like a little bit cocky, but like mostly like straight. Like no like forced romance crap. Um, but I just think that like this one is a significant improvement over the first 2, and is, like I said, my personal favorite out of the prequels. Um, Mace Windu gets um a little bit more of a bigger role than he did in episode 2. Um, but unfortunately, he's killed off in this movie, which randomly kind of makes sense since he doesn't
Are
appear
you
in
sure
the
about that?
original trilogy. Okay, Aidan, really? Um, I know that Aidan actually really liked Mace Windu, because
Mm-hmm.
not to go not to go too far off topic, but when the Star Wars stuff happened in Fortnite, and you can get like one of 4 lightsabers. You could get the blue lightsaber from like Rey's lightsaber, or like Rey's blue lightsaber, Luke's green lightsaber, Darth Maul's 3 bladed, or like
Sorry, Darth Maul.
no, it was oh no, it was fuck,
Don't
what was
tell
his
him.
name?
Don't
It was
tell him.
Kylo Ren. That's
Wait,
what his name
what?
is. I was
Why am I
no,
laughing?
the one, like the dark side saber. It was
Oh yeah, I remember when I used
Kylo
Kyler
Ren.
Ren.
wait,
Yeah, I just said Kylo Ren.
wait.
Yeah,
Um,
Kylo Ren.
Oh yeah,
and
yo,
then
I remember like in that Fortnite event, I remember I used like a hammer axe.
Bro, are you talking about Thor's Stormbreaker? 'Cause that's a whole different thing.
Oh,
That's
my-
Marvel,
what the
dude.
hell? Oh my god, dude.
I'm
Uh,
so sorry.
Oh
Yeah,
my
dude.
All right,
Just
just move on.
But then obviously there was the Mace Windu one, and every single time we would find like like all of them together, Aiden would always dib on the Mace Windu one, like without a doubt. Like Aiden was like, okay, no, I'm getting the purple one. I think that
Me and
uh,
Russell always fought over the green one.
Wait,
yeah,
isn't that wait for the purple lightsaber? Isn't that the same guy that played like the
it's
other dude in
saying,
Pulp Fiction?
yeah, Samuel L.
Frozone.
Jackson. Um, but yeah, like yeah, like Aiden would always dip for the what's his face he would always dip for Mace Windu's one, and me and Dylan will fight over the green one, whoever got that.
And then Chad would
Wait,
always
wasn't
Chad would always fight for the axe, even though it never spawned.
wait, what was that guy's name that played the guy who was holding the purple light? Was it like Morgan Freeman?
No, oh
No,
my
no,
dude.
whoa.
What the hell?
It's
No, Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh,
Morgan
I'm so
Freeman.
stupid.
Morgan.
Okay, I'm sorry, y'all,
Morgan
dude. I'm just like
Freeman.
not getting this right.
Yo, guys, did you know that God played a role in Star Wars? Oh my god, dude.
Bro, I'm sorry.
Awkward
I'm not good
silence
with
voice
this.
crack when Russell said.
Alright, just move
And
on,
by the
dude.
way,
Yeah,
for all
just
you
move on.
movie fans out there, you guys probably know why I said that Morgan Freeman was God. Because he was
I know why.
literally God.
Yeah, I know
Wait, are you talking about the next Fortnite season from Vignesh?
No,
I'm
I'm
just kidding. All right, moving on.
no. I was no, cause have you ever heard of Bruce Almighty?
Yeah.
Moving on.
No. Like don't.
Oh my
I'm just
god.
trying to get. No, I'm just asking you. Do you
I know.
know that? Okay.
Wait.
Um.
Wait. Okay.
So
Hang on, before we
we
do it,
we.
I'm gonna go to bed. I'm pretty tired, and I got school. So
All right,
Alright.
and just quickly say what are your
Alright,
ratings on
loser.
every last movie,
every
starting
movie.
with Revenge of the
Oh
Sith.
yeah. When? That's my
Oh
favorite
yeah,
one.
Sideways 8. My bad. A New Hope.
New Hope. It was good. I give it like a 7.5 out of 10.
Empire Strikes Back.
That was like a 8 to 9 range.
Return of the Jedi.
That was like a 6 to 7.
That.
Force Awakens.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Force Awakens. That was like a 7 to 8.
What?
Rogue
7
One.
to
La-
8.
Wait. How did Force Awakens get a higher score than Return of the Jedi? Anyways, Last Jedi.
No, Rogue One.
That was like a.
Rogue
No,
One
no, it
was
was
like
like
a
a.
spin-off.
Was that the one with
It
like
was
the
like a 5. But anyway, continue.
Kylo Ren dude?
No.
Who played the
No.
Kylo Ren guy?
Nah, Rogue One was
Oh.
like a prequel to A New Hope.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
The Last Jedi. That was like a 2.
Wait, wait, I'm sorry, but was there Rogue One where it was like
The
the
Final
black
Aidan,
guy
Rise of
that played
Skywalker.
the?
Dude, that was like a 9. It was pretty solid.
All right.
Alright.
Anyways, Chad, what were you saying?
Alright,
Okay,
See you
so
later.
who's that? Oh, Finn. Finn was that his name?
Finn, yeah.
So what movie was he in?
Every sequel, like The Force
Wait,
Awakens,
what?
Last Jedi, and
Wait,
The Rise
he
of
was
Skywalker.
black, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
What the hell?
All right, just move on.
Alright
I'm
then.
just,
This
I
is
just
getting
need to answer
kinda
that
weird.
question.
Okay.
All right.
You
Let's just
two.
move on. Let's just move on to a New
Really
Hope.
quickly. Final thoughts. Revenge of the Sith.
Really good overall.
I liked it.
I agree. I would give it personally a 6 out of 10.
Boo.
It was a very solid.
That's
Star
a D
Wars film.
minus.
No, that's a well, in my ranks in my books that's a B plus.
Russell, 6 out of 10 is just like 60 out of 100. It's the same ratio.
60%.
And
What?
60%
Oh my
is a D minus.
You could D minus. my
Okay,
D.
Just saying,
and
dude. D minus. If you want to
you know
give
what,
it like a,
Dylan? You can
if you want to
just
give it like a B
zip
plus,
it.
give it like
80.
89.
85. Yeah. Know your
We're
math,
not talking about fucking out
kids.
of 100. We're talking about out of 10.
Exactly, but Russell, it's
Oh my god,
it's the
dude,
same
that's
ratio.
so stupid. I give it a B plus. Okay.
All right, so
there you go.
8.9 out
There
of
you
10.
go.
No. You know what? Fucking New Hope. Jesus Christ, you guys are making me annoyed.
Is this
Just
the
saying,
one with
Russell.
Kylo Ren?
Alright.
Oh my god. No.
Alright. This is Luke Skywalker.
What?
New Hope.
Show it.
Also,
Show
I
it.
just
Show it more. I want to see it.
Russell
I only
does
see
not
the
know rankings.
old dude. Where's your camera, Russell? Let me see the whole thing.
this boy.
No, just move your head. No, God.
Oh my.
I always see his face, the old
Okay,
dude's face.
You know what? Screw you. You gotta look it up
Alright,
on
just
Google. So Star Wars: A New Hope, also known as Star Wars, when it was initially released in 1977,
77.
and I really like this film. I mean, this was really the film that got me into Star Wars. As
Who was
most
involved
people
in this
did.
film?
Oh my god, dude.
Mark
I
Hamill,
mean-
Carrie Fisher, Harrison Ford, George Lucas, obviously.
No, like the characters, not the actors.
Luke
I don't care about
Skywalker.
Luke Skywalker,
Princess
Leia,
Leia.
Han Solo, Chewbacca, C-3PO, R2,
Oh,
Obi-Wan, Darth
okay.
Vader.
And I
Wait.
guess this is really the point where we're gonna
Stormtrooper Extra number 3.
Wait, is this where they meet Jabba the Hutt?
Boy, no. That was episode
Oh.
6.
couldn't do that.
Who won't
I
gangsta until you get a
by
fact wrong about Star Wars in front of
um,
Russell?
the original trilogy is where we're gonna have to be, unfortunately, be picking on the man who created Star Wars, George Lucas, because by 1997, he thought that the original versions of the original trilogy weren't good enough, and they weren't his original vision. So he released the special editions in 97, and then the DVD editions in 2004, and then the Blu-ray editions in 2011, and then finally the 4K Disney Plus editions in 2019/2020. Now, everyone has been petitioning Disney, well, really anyone who held the rights to Star Wars, so basically from 20th Century Fox to Disney, to release the original versions of the original trilogy on DVD, Blu-ray, and 4K and crap like that. And still to this day, we haven't gotten an official release of the original trilogy since 2006. On when they re-released the 2004 DVDs on a new edition, but this time they gave us a bonus disc which gave us the original versions of all three movies, but they were, I think, transfers from a Laserdisc print which had basically had motion smearing on the picture, which pissed off a lot of Star Wars fans, so they have been doing re-edits really ever since then. And obviously the most famous one is Harmy's Despecialized Editions, but I don't want to go too far into that because that's several people have made videos about that crap. So we'll leave a video down where they describe the whole process of making them, as well as a couple of other videos possibly. But Dylan, what was your overall opinions on A New Hope, aka Star Wars?
Extremely solid movie. It really set the tone for the next two to come out.
Yeah, and really for the whole franchise as well, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Chad?
What I thought it was like a very liquidy, it was okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it was okay.
Oh my god.
It's his opinion.
Okay, you're right.
Anyways.
You're right. All right. Um, but yeah, like Dylan said, this really laid the groundwork for all future Star Wars films, including the rest of the original trilogy. And so for that, that's why I don't really give this film that much flack, because really all the problems that I have with it, which granted is not that much, um, I just like mostly forget about, because again, it's like this is really, when you really think about it, the first ever Star Wars movie ever made. So you got to give them a little bit of credit for that. So that's why I don't really criticize it that much compared to the rest of the films. But this film still has problems with it. But otherwise, it is a really solid movie. So I'm gonna give it um a 9 out of 10.
What's your letter grade?
Probably a good solid A.
All right, perfect then. All right, yeah, I'll give
'Cause,
it.
like,
I'll
for
give it a
me-
9.5 out of 10.
Because for
I'll
me,
give it C
it's like,
minus.
for me, it's like tipping in between like an A and an A minus.
All right.
I mean, in my opinion, I think the only thing that was holding up this movie was Chewbacca.
Oh god. And now,
No,
To be real
let's
with
move
you,
on. We still
Move
got
on.
some more to go through, and it's getting late. All right.
yeah,
Empire Strikes Back.
it's like 5
my
a.m.
my overall favorite Star Wars movie.
Me too. Me too.
This is literally, in my opinion, the perfect Star Wars movie
Yeah.
ever.
Wait,
So,
weren't there episodes?
oh, by the way, let me show it off real quick.
Yes. And by the way, this is the one where like Darth Vader's like, "No, I am your father."
Yeah,
Yeah, the
the
iconic line.
first real moment. that is revealed. This was released in 1980, and this was directed by Irving Kershner instead of George Lucas, who directed obviously the first film. Irving Kershner would actually go on to direct Never Say Never Again, which was a like basically kind of like a
Movie.
it was a
Fortnite.
Jesus.
Yeah.
It was a
Alright, continue, Russell.
it was like a James Bond spin-off. That
Huh.
was like a remake of Never Say Never. No, God damn it. It was a remake of Thunderball, which again, a whole legal battle on about that. So really do check that out. Like you can easily look it up. And his final directing contribution was RoboCop 2. But like I said, this is my favorite Star Wars movie because everything that you know about the first film just basically gets either it basically just gets flipped upside down, and now like the villains are on top instead of the heroes, which I think that's what a good sequel should do, is reinvent the wheel, basically, um, where you begin with the Hoth battle, which is great, um, um, which introduces one of the most iconic, you know, vehicles in Star Wars, because you have the Millennium Falcon, you have like the X-wings, you have the Tie fighters and crap like that. But this film introduced the AT-ATs, and I've heard people call them AT-ATs, which is just stupid and retarded. It's like no, it's AT-ATs.
I've also heard people call it at and at.
Yeah, oh my god, dude, it's AT-AT.
I also heard people call it in and out.
Oh god damn it, Chad.
Oh, roasted.
More
Um.
like out and in.
Oh god. But uh. Again, well, I really don't want to dawdle on my opinions too long, because since I've basically said, I mean, because I feel like I said, this is basically, in my opinion, like the perfect Star Wars movie. Like really, nothing about this film is like bad. So, I'm gonna give this film a solid 10 out of 10. This is an A plus in my books.
I'll give it a 10 out of 10.
So wait, what characters are in this film?
Basically the same as the last film.
Yeah, but
Okay,
like
so
this
I have
film,
to go with.
Yoda's introduced in Lando.
Boba Fett.
All right. Well,
Correct? Yeah.
I have to say a 10 out of 10. You know, because it's pretty good.
Pretty good. If you
Yeah.
give it a 10 out of 10, that's like a goddamn masterpiece.
Oh, here I'll give it a finger looking good.
Oh my god, dude. And now we're gonna move on to the last film of the original trilogy, and what was considered before, in my opinion, to be the best out of the original trilogy, and that is Return of the Jedi.
Wait, Russell, you just said Empire Strikes Back was the best of the original
Yeah, no,
trilogy.
I said when I was a kid, not now.
Oh. No, wait, Russell, you're still a kid.
I'm a teenager. Whatever. Don't correct me. When I
Alright,
was a younger child.
Yeah, I'm just messing with you. Just let's just continue.
I just thought that this one was personally my favorite. Like I said, when I was a younger child. But now like I can start to see some of the more major problems with it. And yeah, really the biggest gripe that I have with the film is the Ewoks.
Dude,
Where
you're
it's
so
like-
adorable. What the?
I mean, yeah, like
what
they're
are you
cute
doing?
and all, but it's like, how the hell did the stormtroopers? I mean, granted, stormtroopers are retarded in the original trilogy, but it's like, how the hell did a military force lose to a whole bunch of goddamn Teletubbies and teddy bears and Care Bears and crap like that? Like,
I don't know,
what?
man. Look, their slingshot is pretty aimbody. So, and sword troopers can't even hit anything. So,
True. Like I said,
I
like,
think a lot of it also has to do with like the Ewoks have their own type of fighting style that maybe the stormtroopers aren't
and
really
besides,
used
the Ewoks are already in their the stormtroopers are already in their territory. So Ewoks are obviously
Exactly.
familiar.
to. Exactly.
what they're
They
fighting
know the
with.
entire layout. They know all the best hiding spots. And
Sure,
where
the
to lay
weapons are
low.
primitive, but although it's the territory that all matters, because they could basically hide anywhere, because like it's just basically stormtroopers. They were just obviously just set up in a trap.
Yeah, like granted, the Ewoks has been, from what I've seen, the biggest complaint about this film, and that's really what's been giving people like something to say, like this, why this film isn't like a masterpiece like Empire Strikes Back, is really just because of the Ewoks. And I'm like, well, that's one I mean, granted, I don't really like the Ewoks either. I mean, granted, they're cute and all, but it's like, again, it's like, how the hell did a military force lose against to a whole bunch of teddy bears? But like, it's not that big of a deal to say like why this film isn't on par with Empire Strikes Back. Like, yeah, that it dilutes the film a bit, and for me personally, it's kind of why I don't consider this as good of a film as Empire Strikes Back. But I still think it's a really good movie. Um, this is like obviously the film that we get the iconic Luke's green lightsaber. Um, which was modeled off of Obi-Wan's original lightsaber from like episode 4. Um, and really everything about this film nicely like comes to a conclusion in this film. And I feel like that if it was just episodes 4, 5, and 6 as like just Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, and then Return of the Jedi as their original names, not with the episodes crap, it could possibly be on the same like level as the Back to the Future trilogy, where because that trilogy kind of had the same structure where it's like the first film was like a really good start. The second film built off of that and kind of flipped like the characters upside down because then the villains are on top, and then the third film was like a good conclusion. But unlike Back to the Future where it basically has been only the 3 films, Star Wars has basically blown up into this big franchise and has gone multiple films, which granted isn't that big of a problem, but it's like it was so good just ending it with Return of the Jedi and then that being it. But being that there are further sequels and prequels and spin-offs and crap like that, I don't I don't find it that big of a problem, but still. But like I said, I feel like that this is a very nice conclusion to the original trilogy, and that's why I'm gonna give this film a 9 out of 10. So basically, kind of like why I feel like with Episode 4, like A New Hope, I like for this one I feel more like an A than an A minus, but I'm still like kind of like in the middle a bit about like whether to give this film an A or an A minus. But for me, I'm gonna probably gonna put this film at an A. Where I'm
I
gonna
just
give
want a 9.5.
I'm
Sorry to
gonna give
interrupt.
I'm honestly gonna give A New Hope probably like an A minus. I mean, granted, it's
Yeah.
not like a bad film, but it's just not as good as episodes 5
I'm
and
gonna give
6.
this one a. I'm gonna give this one like a 9, a solid 9. It was pretty good, but I do have to agree with Russell about the like Ewoks. Like that ideology alone doesn't make any sense, to be honest. Because stormtroopers have like laser blasters, Ewoks have slingshots. It's like it, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, I'll probably give it a 9.5. I really enjoyed this movie.
All right. So, is that it for episode? Is that it for the original trilogy for you guys?
Yep.
Yeah,
I say we just cruise on through the sequels because,
Really, like
yeah.
these are like basically some of the most recent Star Wars content that we've gotten. So, you guys
at
haven't seen this stuff.
$6 in the morning.
Well, grandly, if you haven't seen any of the Star Wars films, like, what are you doing here? I mean, grandly, thank you for watching, but like, you probably should have seen them. So either you're just staying here because you've seen all of them, or you just don't care. Um, but we do appreciate it. But we do for now on, when we talk about the sequels and basically anything else from this point on, major spoiler alert. Because again, like I said, these are the most recent entries in the Star Wars franchise, so these are gonna have way more bigger spoilers than really any of the other ones. So do be forewarned. Um, but yeah, let's start off with Star Wars little revival after the prequels, because again, we're going in chronological order, not release order. So there was just a brief little history. We have the original trilogy, and then now by this point we had the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy, and that's it basically. But back in the land of 2015, when there was no COVID-19 around, we got Episode 7, The Force Awakens. Now, what was your guys' honest reaction when you guys heard that there was going to be an Episode 7?
I was really surprised. I actually got to see it like I think the second day is in theaters. My opinion about it, I mean, I don't think it was that bad actually. I mean, I know the sequels do have a history of not being the best things, but I don't think The Force Awakens was that bad.
It's like for me personally, the only one I've really seen out of any of the sequels is Episode 7.
I mean, just to get my rating out of the way, I'll probably give it like a 7.5. I mean, I don't think it was that bad.
Yeah, I probably would give it like the same rating, like a 7 out of 10. It wasn't that bad, but I wouldn't put it on par with the original trilogy, but probably still better than the prequel trilogy. Chad, what about you?
Well, to be honest with you, Chief, I didn't really watch this movie, so I can't even give my comment.
Okay, so like I said earlier, major spoilers from this point on. So if you haven't seen any of
Yes.
these films, and you really don't want to get spoilers, like
You
stop
have been
watching this.
warned.
Yeah, you have been warned. If you just don't care, or if you've seen all of them, here we go. So
Alright.
the everyone freaked out when I believe the second trailer dropped for this film, and we got basically told that Han Solo and Chewbacca were returning, and everyone's like, "Oh shit, dude, they're back!" And then by the end of this film, Han Solo's dead. So
Which really just has to do that Harrison Ford did not like being in Star Wars.
did he? I
I
mean,
don't.
granted,
He did not enjoy it,
like didn't
and I don't know why.
like did he like not enjoy it in general or just this film's production?
Just in general, I don't think he liked like being Han Solo. Like I don't think he liked the character.
Monkey.
What the okay. I mean, I could see that from an actor's point of view, but grandly, really anything I've seen Harrison Ford in that in terms of like interviews and you talk about Star Wars, he's just in a grumpy mood. So I could see why he said like, "Oh, just kill
Yeah.
my
He's
character
a
off. All I
boomer.
care about." Okay, what the hell, Chad? He's like, he's not a
I'm not
boomer.
wrong.
He all he cares about is the paycheck. But grandly, that's the same thing as John Carpenter. Where every Halloween sequel is like, "Oh, just give me the goddamn paycheck."
That's what Brad Pitt be like.
Oh my god. Um, but yeah, that's really honestly, to be completely honest, probably the weakest part about it because he has like this whole emotional speech about like talking to Kylo Ren and then he just fucking just dies. And it's like, well, there he goes.
Don't you mean Ben?
You know what? I didn't like Kylo Ren. He kind of reminded me of a John Wick without its beard.
I was
uh,
surprised to see like he looked like this like some 19-year-old kid instead of like
Yeah,
like,
he looked
is that like a
really weird.
middle-aged man?
Yeah.
yeah.
I like when people made a meme about him when he just stretched his body. His nipples were bigger.
You could tell that we
Cheer up,
recorded
Chad.
this.
Come on.
You can tell that we're recording this at 1 in the morning because we're fucking tired. And
Did you cuss?
yes, I did because honestly, I'm tired as hell. But you know what? We gotta get this video recorded. So
It's
All right.
literally
Wait,
1
wait. Let's just.
a.m.
I'll just sum it up. Overall, it was an okay movie. It wasn't the worst, and we'll
I
just give
think
it
it's
like
like it was really like kind of like an episode 1 reaction where it was like initially when you saw it, it's like, dude, oh my god, dude, Star Wars back, it's so good. But then when you watch it again, it's like maybe it wasn't as good as I thought.
this. The CGI
Grant,
was like really good
Grantly,
in this one.
it's the Force Awakens wasn't as bad as like rewatching it as Phantom Menace. Where Phantom Menace, I watched it again and I was like, oh, dude, this sucks. Where this film, when I watched it again, it was like, oh, this one was actually kind of okay. Well, not as good as I
Yeah.
thought it was, but it wasn't a bad Star Wars movie. But yeah, like I said, I'm gonna give this, or like me and Dylan said, I'm gonna give this film a 7 out of 10. A
I
seven
give
and
it
a
7.5.
half.
All right, moving on.
So,
I'm gonna
Last
give it a
Jedi.
10 out of 10 for the big nipple dude.
are we gonna
Okay.
are we gonna talk about the side, like when like Rogue One and Solo for this episode?
Nah, we'll save that for another episode with spin-off series.
Okay. All
So
right.
the
So
Last
Last Jedi.
Jedi. I think that they
Half-assed
screwed
it.
up on this one. They screwed up on this one.
Yeah, I didn't like it either.
I feel like they just kind of forced things that shouldn't have happened, like Luke's death for no reason. Like I don't think there's any reason for that. I think they
I
just
mean,
wanted
yeah,
to.
Granly, I did hear about like the whole Luke
There's
dying thing,
no
which
big
Granly,
nipple
it's like
man.
what the hell, man. But
I
I
think
think
they
that
ran out of ideas, and they didn't have anything else important to happen in that movie.
They
So they're
just
I
like,
weren't
all right,
creative
let's just kill
I
off
enough, you
feel
Luke.
like
know.
that I feel like that the way that they did it was okay.
I think they rushed it.
It wasn't for me. It wasn't as bad as the Han Solo death, because for me, Han Solo felt like even for like an older age, he should have been like more like his older age, like a little bit more like kind of like a dick kind of character, and yet he kind of just gets taken out like that, and then boom, he's dead. At least with Luke, he actually, you know, doesn't like. I'm not trying to be mean to like the Han Solo death, but at least he doesn't go out like a pussy, kind of like. Because like he granted he kind of does fight Kylo Ren in a way, right? Because like yeah, granted he does like his like he does like the Force thing that he does, where like he basically projects himself to the planet where he's attacking, and I again like I don't exactly know what happens because I never really saw the movie as well as Rise of Skywalker, but I just feel like that they handled his death a lot better than Han Solo. I mean, granted, because like Han Solo kind of just seems like. I mean, like granted, because like Luke Skywalker is more like the relatable character, there, so making him more like killing him off the way that they did, I feel like made it a lot more better in a way than they did Han Solo. But I still think I do agree a bit that like they still shouldn't have done it in the first place. Which granted I didn't see like coming in the film, but the like in the expanded universe comics, I forgot which line it was, but they did kill off Luke's character. I think it was like a few years after the events of Return of the Jedi. Because he still has like his like Return of the Jedi look to him, but yeah, but like in the like one of the expanded universe series, he is dead and like is like a ghost, like one of the Jedi ghosts. Um, but again, here I just feel like that the way they did it was okay. The fact was that they probably shouldn't have done it in the first place. What about you guys?
Here's what they did. Okay, so with The Force Awakens, they created like a cliffhanger. You know, like Finn was in like a really bad condition. You didn't know what happened to him, and then they just freaking ruined that character in this movie.
How?
Like basically, the first thing he did when he woke up was just try to take an escape pod and just leave everyone.
Oh, that sucks.
And then they introduced another character there who
That's
really didn't have
it?
that much importance.
They really just ditched Finn? Like the
Uh,
character?
they really just left him in the dust. He's just someone who
What?
yells Ray.
Such wasted potential.
I know.
Oh my god, like,
He's
he
a
could have
good
been,
character
like,
in The Force Awakens, but then he's just ruined for the next two movies.
that actually sucks, dude. Like, I hope in the next
Yeah, that's
movie,
all I really
though,
have to say.
you know what I'm hoping in the next movie?
What do you
Yes.
mean in
What?
Rise of Skywalker?
Oh, no, if they're doing any, like,
No,
other
I
upcoming
feel like
movies.
that no, because Rise of Skywalker is the last one.
Oh well, if they do any spin-offs or whatever, I want Jar Jar Blinks to be a
Blinks.
Sith. I don't know. I'm kind of tired, but
Wait, you want him to like
Binks,
make an
Blinks,
appearance or a
Stinks,
cameo
Sinks.
or something?
Well, like a year ago, I was interested in these Star Wars comics and theories, and one of the theories was Jar Jar Blinks being like a secret like Sith.
Oh my
Wait.
god.
Well, yeah, no, because I can somewhat back that up with
That's for sure.
no, because like in like the third film, the Emperor gets like power, and like how would the Emperor get power if like he didn't you know receive the power from like a hierarchy, and he wouldn't have
Yeah,
gotten that power if Jar Jar wasn't the one to suggest him in the first place.
yeah, and also this like comic. It's like in this comic where I can't remember, but like there's like a Star Wars comic where Jar Jar Blinks literally full on wields a lightsaber,
Hold
and
up.
like
I'm gonna really quickly find the clip. Um,
While you do that, I'll just end off The Last Jedi.
yeah.
Overall, it was just sum it up, it's just wasted potential.
I know I'm actually just really like disappointed basically. I mean, like again, like he just literally just let him just bite the dust. Like it's like it's frustrating because Finn could have had so many rules. To be honest, you know, it just
Yeah.
makes me mad. Of
But
course,
I
they'll
mean,
focus on
he didn't
Ray.
like like escape like permanently, like he came back and everything because he went on like a mission with some other person.
I
But
know, but
basically, even after he was saved and everything, he just tried to escape.
exactly, just what, just such a like a 180 for the character. It's just, I just,
So I'll give that movie like 6 out of 10.
I'll give it 4.
I thought earlier that you said that. Oh no, no, because Aiden's. I thought that Aiden said that he gave Last Jedi like a 2 out of 10.
Yeah, I'll just be generous. I'll give it a 6. Why not? I mean,
I'm gonna
that's a D
4.
minus.
4 for F.
All right, The Rise of Skywalker. Now, I'd say I'm actually not sure if this is the best out of the sequels. It's either better than Force Awakens or like the same amount of goodness. Um, this one it actually opened on a really intense battle, just Kylo Ren just slaughtering everyone. Then I forgot, he went to like this weird planet, and then he saw like a reincarnated Palpatine, who apparently made like a bunch of clones of different people, like Snoke, who's in the first and second film of the sequels. He just had like this whole cloning machine and made different bodies, and apparently was Snoke the entire time, just saying that every voice that Kylo Ren heard in his head was always him. Like no matter whose voice was talking, it was always him. And I think it's weird how they made it so Palpatine was Rey's grandfather. Like I think that was just kind of weird.
Right.
Just
Once Chad gets back, I actually found the clip.
Alright.
That we were talking about with the whole like Jar Jar was like like a secret Sith in disguise.
Oh man.
Um, but well, I mean, like not really. Like it. The clip that I'm about to play, like it doesn't really like I guess like support that theory, but it's basically like for every single mistake that happened, like every single thing that happened, like against the rebels in the original trilogy, it's basically all gonna be explained that like it was all Jar Jar's fault. But I guess we're gonna wait like a couple more like a minute or two to see if Chad gets back, and then I think we're just gonna discuss like our favorite, like our overall favorite scene from all 9 official, like main timeline films, and then our least favorite scene overall from the 9 films. Sorry.
So let
Um,
me just finish summarizing the Rise of Skywalker. Okay, so basically, yeah, in that movie, I remember they went back to the Death Star 2, like the ruins of it, on like this weird it's like an ocean planet, like there were a lot of like really big waves and whatnot, and that's where Kylo Ren and Rey decided to battle each other. Then where Kylo saw like visions of Leia and Han Solo, which I was surprised that Harrison Ford decided to make a cameo in that movie. Like I wasn't expecting that, but it happened. And
Again, it's like probably like one of those things where he's like, "Oh, just give me the fucking paycheck already."
yeah, he only said like 1 or 2 lines, but he was in the movie. And yeah, in that movie, actually, Kylo Ren becomes good. He wields the blue
Oh,
lightsaber once
oh,
again.
really? Damn.
Yep, he goes back to the light side, but then he sacrifices himself to save Rey from Palpatine and dies at the end.
Oh,
But he
that's
dies on the light side.
Oh. So basically, kind of like Darth Vader in Episode 6,
Yes,
except that Darth Vader doesn't
exactly like
hold
that.
a blue lightsaber. Um, but I guess before we go on to overall favorite scenes and least favorite scenes for all 9 films, here is a small audio clip from a YouTuber called The Unusual Suspect that basically kind of goes over why every single thing bad or every single mistake that happened in the original trilogy was our Jar Jar's fault. It may start cutting in and out, but bear with me.
I want to shoot somebody's head off, though. Like Jar Jar, for example. Only there's some way I could blame him for all this. Wait a minute. We wouldn't see the Ewoks if they didn't have to go to the moon of Endor. They wouldn't have to go here if the Death Star wasn't being rebuilt. The Death Star wouldn't have been built in the first place if the Emperor didn't get in power. And the Emperor wouldn't have been in power if Jar Jar didn't propose that all emergency powers be given to him. Yes, every single mistake in the original trilogy.
So yeah, that basically
Okay.
covers basically why everything got screwed up for the original trilogy, and it was all Jar Jar's fault. That's why he's the most like useless and annoying character in all Star Wars. Kidding, but like really, he is probably like the worst thing about Episode 1. Like even more worse than Jake Lloyd. But that's mostly not a opinion.
Yeah.
But Dylan, why don't you go over your favorite and least favorite scenes from any of the 9 films?
All right. So, actually, let me think about this.
Yeah, it's kind of a hard one to think about.
All right, favorite scene, probably just I don't know. I guess in Empire Strikes Back, when just Luke and Vader are talking, and he reveals that he's his father and whatnot.
Yeah, probably one of the most iconic scenes from any Star Wars film ever.
Yeah, and least favorite scene, just any scene involving both Anakin and Padme.
uh, um, I mean, I could probably, I would agree with you in terms
Like
of episode.
Sand, you know.
It's all
We,
coarse and rough.
I'm surprised
and
we have not
everything.
mentioned that at all yet.
You know what? Screw it. I don't even care anymore. Well, I mean, I do care, but like, just to show you how bad the romance was in episode 2, I'm gonna play a clip from episode 2, which is basically that sand line. If you guys know what I'm talking about, then I'm sorry for you guys to hear this, but for any of you who don't know what I'm talking about, here you go.
I don't like sand. It's coarse, rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
Yes, that was literally said by Hayden Christensen playing as Anakin Skywalker in a Star Wars movie. I'm sorry you guys have to hear that. But yeah, that's probably my least favorite scene in all of Star Wars. Favorite scene is probably honestly one of the most difficult things to try and, do for this episode, because really it came down for me to three separate options. The Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan versus Maul fight from episode 1. The Luke and Vader fight from episode 5, and the Luke and Vader fight from episode 6. And for me personally, I'm gonna have to go with the Luke and Vader fight from episode 6. Because honestly, at the time of that film's release, it was technically, for a while at least, the last lightsaber fight we were ever going to get. And oh boy, it's certainly a good lightsaber fight. Like, I mean, at the time, like, granted, we've had, the prequels and crap like that, where it's a lot more acrobatic and a lot more intense. Like, like I said, the Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, and versus Maul fight in episode 1, and the Anakin versus Obi-Wan fight in episode 3, which are, like I said, very good scenes. But, for me personally, I think what edges the episode 6 fight over all of them is the emotion and the more talkative parts of the fight is what really, compels that scene to be my favorite scene of the whole Star Wars, because just the pure emotion, after Vader mentions that if he doesn't give himself up, that he's gonna hurt Leia, which is Luke's sister. Luke is fucking pissed, and he just wails on Vader. And you see him like backing up, like, "Oh crap! Oh crap! Oh crap! Crap! I probably shouldn't have said that. Crap! 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 Crap!" And then, like, obviously he gets his hand lopped off, and then Luke was like, "Oh crap!" That's kind of like what happened to me, because my hand got chopped up by Vader. And I basically just said a reverse card, like, no, I'm a good guy. I ain't gonna kill Vader, who is also my father. Screw that. And also, if you're not Arnold Schwarzenegger, you don't have the balls to kill off James Earl Jones. Like, I'm sorry, you don't. Like, it's just a fact. But, I think my overall favorite line from any Star Wars film is when he throws on his lightsaber, and he just straight up just, like, at the Emperor, "You have failed, Your Highness. I am a Jedi, like my father before me." Like, the most badass line anyone could have said in any Star Wars film, and Mark Hamill just delivers that line so well that every single time I watch that scene, I almost forget that he played the Joker, like, a few years later, or basically like 10 years later, and it's like, what? How? I'm so confused, but Lord, thank you. Don't you have any more
I'd
thoughts?
say that's no.
Like-
I mean, I'd say this is a good spot to end off the episode.
So before, like usually by this point we say, like, hey guys, go and comment down in the comment section below.
Yeah.
To suggest an idea, or if you guys want to be on a future episode. But due to some events that we can't currently talk about, we had to
Whoa, hang on. There's some static right now.
Oh, is there? Okay, yeah, because I'm touching the mute button on my thing, on my mic. But like I said, due to recent events that we can't really talk about that much as of
Yeah.
now, we had to disable all comments from all the previous videos. Once the
We don't.
situation, probably most likely when the situation is over, we're gonna reopen the comments again for people to comment on.
Yeah.
But just don't, when we reopen them, don't be hateful, because, all we really are just here to entertain. We are not
Yeah.
here to have a hate campaign against us. I mean, because really, that's just gonna not make us want to make content anymore. And really, for the genuine fans out there, they're not gonna like it. So we don't like. I mean, granted, we're probably gonna get it anyway, but just like don't be like super hurtful about it, and just don't say anything that's stupid.
I'll I'll say this: if you're criticizing our podcast, then you really need a life. That's all I'm saying. Because if that's really the best thing you can do, you just need a life.
Yeah, but as of now, like I said, the comments for all of our videos, including this one and the next few that will be coming out, will be basically temporarily disabled until the situation that, like I said, that we're currently in is over. Then uh we're gonna enable comments again. But as of
Yeah.
now, we're gonna do how we did it before. If you guys wanna ask to be on a future episode of the Cringe Squadcast, or to suggest an idea, follow me at my Instagram, which will again be in the description below, as it was for all the previous episodes and probably for future episodes as well. Um, just go and follow me down there and message me personally, just telling me if you guys want to be on a future episode or to suggest an idea. And like we said, I don't know how many episodes ago, don't spam or else I will block you. Because like we said before, that has happened and it was
Yes.
really annoying. So please don't spam, and we're asking you politely. Just please don't. Um, anything else you want to mention, Noah? Before we mentioned our next episode, which will be actually be coming out later today.
I don't have anything else to mention except for that.
So yeah, like we said, multiple times throughout this recording, what is it now? 1:44 in the morning. So
Yep.
we're pretty goddamn tired. So yeah. Um, so Dylan, really quickly, why don't you mention what the topic for next episode will be, which will be coming out later today.
Okay, so this topic was actually recommended by someone who I will not name, but yeah, this episode is a console comparison episode, which I think was a pretty good idea. And
Again,
basically,
this isn't a what we did in episode 3, I think, where we just talked about video games. This is a genuine console comparison.
yes,
Just
basically we'll be reviewing the consoles of Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, just all the history of it, pros and cons of each console, and all that stuff.
yeah.
We do not want to spark an argument, okay? We're being fair. We're just basically just comparing the pros and cons.
Mhm. And like we said, stay tuned for later on today where that will be uploaded. Um, and yeah, so we really hope that you guys enjoyed this episode of the Cringe Squadcast. Um, it's nice to be back. One on Discord, because like we
True.
said earlier, we used the Xbox game chat, and I've been the only one on Discord to record video footage. But it's nice to be back on Discord to record both video and audio. So it's good to be back where we initially started, and it will hopefully be like this until we finally get to meet in person and get to do a real video podcast, which will be exciting to do. Um, and like
Yeah.
we said at the beginning of this episode, hopefully things will be better than ever, and we're gonna kick it up a notch. And so
And
we really,
remember, sorry to interrupt, by the way. We're still getting the thumbnail situation figured out, so there should be thumbnails hopefully pretty soon.
yeah. So yeah, really hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and like we said, stay tuned for later on today where we will be discussing or be doing a console comparison between Xbox, or also known as Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo, which will be a genuine and fair comparison. We're not going to be favoring. I mean, yeah, personally, we're going to favor each of our consoles, but we're going to be overall and we're going to be fair when we discuss them. So stay tuned for that, guys, and have a great day, everyone. See ya.
See ya.
We need some sleep. Jesus. See you guys.
See.